Is anyone here?
Imprisonment, isolation and fear await us as we travel to Cheshire.
And this week I would like to invite you to join my team in one of the scariest locations we have been to. Welcome to Most Haunted and the Stockport Workhouse.
Locally known as the Grubber, the workhouse officially opened on a bleak Christmas Day in 1841. Within a year, there was a riot outside its gates as more than 20,000 people protested the lack of jobs caused by a slump in the manufacturing industries. With no work and times desperate, where else to turn to stave off terrible privation but the workhouse? However, it was a last desperate resort, for they were treated little better than inmates of a prison. Families were parted, with men accommodated in the north side and women placed in the south side of the building. Even the children were divided, male and female, into separate areas. If this was not punishment enough, they would only be allowed to meet together once every month, and then only for a few short minutes. Other restrictive measures included uneven stairways and corridors to increase disorientation and prevent running, metal gates which were locked at night, increasing the feeling of imprisonment, and balcony overhangs to stop the suicidal taking their own lives by throwing themselves from the upper floors. Little wonder, with such inhumane conditions, that the remains of the building are said to be alive with spiritual unrest. EMF meters show wild fluctuations, odd odours unconnected with the present space, a general feeling of uneasiness which descends as one enters the walls, and innumerable reports of ghostly apparitions.
So with so many lost souls said to haunt this place, who could spend a night alone and in the dark here? Well, that's exactly what Kath and John Gilbert did, and this is what happened.
Yep, we've been chosen to stay the night before because I'm a local girl.
Yeah, and because I'm too stupid to say no.
Yep, we've been chosen to go in.
Into the mortuary.
Now, we've not been in yet, but even the look of it looks scary. The whole place looks really, really, really eerie, and I'm really scared. It's clinking. John is clinking.
Is there anybody down here? Go on.
There's clinking noises.
Go on then, we're stuck in the corridor. It's the worst place to be. Oh my God. Come on, I don't like being in the corridor because I've got my back to the...
I told you I heard clicking.
You're just winding yourself up now. You're
John,
getting...
there was madly up there. John, I'm sorry, I can't stay here.
Kath, come on.
John, I don't like it.
Right, just
I think I'm going to be sick.
It does feel like that in here, doesn't it? Are there any astral beings, any spirits in this room? We're in this cellar? This Alright, what did you hear? A groan.
Oh my God, I've just seen a light over there.
What, over there? There's nothing over there. If that's somebody...
Kath's obvious terror brought that particular vigil to an abrupt and chilling close.
Men, women and children. They were all separated when they entered the workhouse. This is the woman's wing. In its day, it would have been depressing. Now it's terrifying. Footsteps are said to pace the floor, muffled sounds of women have been witnessed and screams heard echoing in the dead of night. The spirit of a woman thought to have died here is said to show herself, sometimes as a dark shadow and sometimes as a full apparition. However she decides to appear, she likes to make herself known and is said to dislike men being anywhere near the woman's wing.
Been on 2 vigils here at the workhouse, and on the first one we experienced the smell of tobacco smoke in the master's quarters. We also caught on camera several orbs, most of which can probably be explained away by dust particles, but a couple of which were hopefully indicative of paranormal activity. They were really detailed, really patterned, and they were taken in spots where we thought that there was some sort of activity.
This used to be the inmates' dining room, and although empty now, would have been filled with sounds of a hungry workforce grabbing a few well-deserved morsels of food to take them through the day. But over 150 years later, the sound of metal plates can be heard and a soft murmuring is witnessed, as though a host of ghostly workers are, to this day, still taking nourishment from non-existent kitchens. The main door is said to open and shut on its own, and screams are heard from the far end of the room where the lunatic asylum used to be for the incurable workhouse inmates.
One other area we visited was the inmates' dining room, where we sat for a while, and we felt as though there was a number of presence with us. When we look back at images taken, there were orbs on camera that, made us think that, what we felt was genuine. Having been present on 2 vigils here at Stockport Workhouse, I believe there is a presence, and I'm sure that most haunted team are in for an active night.
There is a stark reminder to the harsh working environment here at the workhouse in this dark, damp room tucked away under the main building, the mortuary. Many bodies would have ended up on this original slab, and as they were dissected, their blood would have poured down this drain here into the gutter. So who or what still lurks down here in the shadows? Something causes the dark figures to walk from side to side. Something causes the low moans heard in the dead of night. And something causes the feeling of oppression felt here many times. But what? We have 24 hours to find out.
Given the repressive atmosphere and harsh history, what was Dr. Kieran O'Keefe feeling about the coming investigation?
This place, the Stockport Workhouse, has to be one of the most frightening, terrifying locations I've ever been into. And I'm not sure I'm going to even last the night. It's awful.
It is. I would put it on a par with Pendle Hill in terms of the way it looked. Pendle Hill was just a very small farmhouse. This location is huge, and it has the same sort of derelict, terrifying look about it.
Where are you going to begin? Where do you begin as a parapsychologist in a place like this, where so many people have seen things, experienced things? For instance, I know that Kath, she had a relative who actually worked here, and they weren't allowed up on the top floor because apparently it was so haunted. It's bizarre.
It's a minefield of activity, and where to start, that is the question. I just don't know. We've had so many reports, and even the crew being here during the day as well have commented on various things that have either happened to them or they're scared about the prospects of what is held for this evening. I think there's a few places where I think psychology or even the structure of the actual location can explain the experiences. There's a particular staircase in the woman's wing where people have kind of disorientated feelings, and I think that's what will happen to some of the crew this evening. But I think the simple structure of the staircase and the reason why they put it in could explain that.
There's one particular place that I know everybody will just hate to go, and of course that's the mortuary, because of its association, but also it's so horrible down there.
The mortuary, you're right, is a particular concern. Number one, because of the name. It's got an immediate association, and that's going to play on people's minds when they're down there. The other thing, again, is that it's absolutely terrifying. It's low ceilings, it just looks awful, and when people start to conjure up images of what went on down there, it's going to play havoc, and I think people are going to be genuinely scared.
So what would David Wells make of the distinctly Dickensian atmosphere of the Stockport Workhouse?
Once you're here, you don't leave. I just got an impression of him lying here, and the word's not dead.
Oh, that's horrible.
But he's walking almost zombie-like, you know, that kind of, it's almost like that.